Good morning, everyone. Irma K. Sawyer, Hi Star Shines. I have a very special guest to invite right now, so bear with me while I do that. Good morning. Oh, there she is. Okay, I've got to, let's see, I got to click on her again, I think. Oh my goodness, Shannon, it's saying I can't invite you to this live video. Really? Okay, let's start over. Fun with Mercury Retrograde. Here we go. I'm inviting her right now.
Hi, am I here? Yay!
Yay. Okay. Hello. Good morning, everyone. It's an Eclipse party over here at the Bright Star House. Oh, my goodness. So, good morning. Thank you for being here. And want to let everyone know that since this is such a big event, there's a lot of people attending. Hi, everybody. I'm not going to be doing Q&A, but I've been taking note of your questions throughout the week, and I will be responding to some of those. So we've got our Cosmic Coffee Talk to go. And we've got, all right, blue bottle. You know what I just noticed? Blue glass. Look at this blue glass. I just noticed that. I bought that in like 1990 or something. Okay.
That's awesome.
I guess I was in the know. So, okay, big event. I'm going to tell you, good morning. Hi, Scotty. Thanks for coming. Before we get into this very powerful, amazing new moon and solar eclipse, I have a really special guest today, and I'm so excited. And just to let you know, no, we're not high. We're just from the champagne. And we just feel like that, because on our planet, it's all about bubbles and fun and love and rock and roll. So we're that out today to everybody here and also to the world. So thank you for being here. So what I'm going to do before I introduce my very special guest is I'm going to just talk a little bit about what the F's been going on, right?
Yes.
I'm going to let it rip like I do. Shannon likes it when I let it rip. So I'm going to just do that. I have my bling on, I have to say, in honor of the last degree of Sun in Leo. What a regal, amazing, fun ride it's been this time. A lot of opportunities to reclaim back our sovereignty and personal power. And yeah, it hasn't always been fun. No, sorry. You kind of experience that contrast when you're going up, when you're up leveling, right? Speaking of up leveling, yesterday we had 5 solar flares right before the solar eclipse. Like, about. Yeah, I'm always amazed at the really ironic and odd, sense of humor of the universe, right? So it's strange. You know what I have to do, Shannon? I'm going to have to tilt the phone.
No problem.
So,
we'll make it.
Let's go ahead. Let's get all our technical stuff out of the way. So I'm going to take a little break. We're going to, let's tilt it, yeah.
We'll see if I'm upside down.
What was that?
This is our as above, so below.
She's dancing on the ceiling again. Look at this. I can't stop her from this. She was doing this morning. Will you please get off the ceiling? Thank you. I know it's cool up there, but there we go. Oh my gosh. It started
That was
already.
my as above, so below joke.
That's her as above, so below joke, and that's my dancing on the ceiling joke. So there you go. Okay. So much fun. So what are we going to do today? We're going to ground. We're going to drink our water. We're going to get off the internet after this broadcast. I'm going to actually go out and be at my favorite place in Joshua Tree Park. I recommend people grounding in nature whenever they can. My timekeeper here, Shannon, is going to stop us at 11. There you go. She just adjusted. That's better. Adjust us at 11:11. She's going to stop us because there is a global peace meditation that's going on, and I'd like us all to kind of zoom into that. for just a moment. Usually, meditations often, I should say, follow these events that I do. Okay, I'm fixing this a little bit. Sorry, still adjusting. Trying to get it right. Mercury Retrograde, bear with me. It's the sign.
You're doing great.
That I have 3 planets in Virgo. This is another good joke. I have to show you guys this. Shannon really appreciated this. These are my glasses that she knows what's coming. These are my glasses that I see the screen with. These are the only ones I could find this morning.
So appropriate for
I know
it's
really appropriate, isn't it? But I can't see anything. It looks cool, but I can't see anything. So we'll put these back.
Thank you. I remember doing that.
That was a concern when all I could do was find the sunglasses. So people, let's go back to this. A lot's been coming up for people between the full moon and the new moon. This is eclipse season, and that's another thing you're gonna have to bear with me with the retrograde. I have 3 planets in Virgo. Mercury is retrograde in Virgo. Sometimes I have some challenges getting it out, so bear with me. But I do have my team present, and they always help me. So, all right, I have some notes here that I am going to talk about. Empaths, let's talk about you for a moment. Very challenging. The energy, there's a lot, not only there's a lot coming up for us, but we know that there's a lot coming up in the collective. We know this, right? So I cannot stress drinking your water, being very kind to yourself, grounding your energy, getting unplugged, really being conscious of what's yours and what's not yours. It's really, really important right now. It's always important, but it's really important when we go through one of these gateways or portals. And is this a portal? Oh, it is a mother of a portal. And we're really excited to tell you about it. So without further ado, Shannon Murray is here from Lunar Ladies, and she's the beautiful person here, a beautiful ginger goddess in the screen here. And she knows a lot. She's very knowledgeable about lunar cycles, about astrology in general, but I really recommend women here in the community, if you're interested, to join Lunar Ladies. And the post is in the event listing. I'll also post that again. It's a wonderful group. There's a lot of great information in there. And she's been very generous with allowing me to share my forecast in there. So together we get together and just light it up and have a great time. But I really do appreciate her knowledge. She has a lot of knowledge. And it's cool because we know about different things and we blend together really, really beautifully. Kind of like Saint Germain and Champagne. Kind of how we go together. So so basically, first I'm going to have Shannon tell us a little bit about what is an eclipse, kind of Eclipse 101. So take it away, my friend.
Oh, okay. Irma, it's so lovely and wonderful to be here with everybody. Thanks for joining us on this very special occasion, this total solar eclipse in the United States. So what is an eclipse? An eclipse, well, a solar eclipse, there's 2 kinds. There's a solar eclipse that we're having today, and there's a lunar eclipse that we had 2 weeks ago. So a solar eclipse is when the Earth is here where we are, the sun is here, and the moon passes in between us. So then the moon's blocking the sun's light from us on Earth, and it's like a sliding door, like an ending and a beginning. So I was thinking about, how am I going to explain an eclipse? And I kept seeing, like, when you take a picture and the shutter goes down and then it clicks back up and there's your picture. So an eclipse, because of that, the moon blocking the sun, and the sun is our light, our consciousness, our awakeness, and it's coming in to change something, to give us a reboot, like as if our computer was, stalling, the little circles going round and round, and we're like, come on, computer, I'm gonna throw you out the window, But we say restart. So the computer shuts down and then it starts back up and it works great. So this is like we're getting a reboot. So one door is sliding and closing, and then another door is coming in and opening up. So it's just like the sliding door moment. But for an eclipse, as far as like the universe is taking a picture of your vibrational alignments, and it's going to take 6 months to develop that picture. So during the eclipse, when we have a solar eclipse, it's a new moon. So the moon and the sun are same degree. So it's already a time of new beginnings every month. So this one is especially powerful because of everybody else who is joining the cosmic party. And so just keep in mind that this energy is going to develop over time within 6 months. So Irma's going to tell us a lot about the planets involved and what the gifts that they're bringing us for what we're developing, because you're closing and ending a chapter, and then you're opening and starting a new chapter in your life. So
beautiful share. Thank you. Excellent job. I
You're
love
welcome.
about a reboot. She's got all this Gemini. She's great with the storytelling and words and painting great pictures. So thank you. That's really perfect. That's true. It's the way I described it too, which goes into what you're saying about the reboot, is a still point. And since that's my background in healing and upledger and cranial psychotherapy, there's a point when you do the healing where the actual cerebral spinal fluid becomes still, becomes quiet. It actually slows to a point that's called a still point. And that's when the body releases. You know how you see animals that sometimes if they're injured, they like shake? You know how sometimes we'll vibrationally, that whole shake it off thing? There really is a physiological thing going on with vibration when you're letting go of energy. So when you get to a still point, that's when you have a really cosmic, magical moment of being able to shift out of whatever that is. So there's been a lot of like weird hype around this eclipse. I want to I wrote a big thing about that. And just to let you know, in the event itself, every day, almost every single day, I received information and posted it in there. And I'm not going to really repeat all of that. There's one thing I am going to repeat because it's important, really important. But the rest of the stuff, if anybody wants to just kind of get up to speed on everything that came through, you can go on the event page and it's all in there. Okay, so what were we talking about? Still point, right? Becoming very still. That, you know, a reboot. And Shannon was talking about how this new chapter, how it's unfolding, how we have, it's such a big shift that it's not like, oh, everything is it's just a one and done or whatever, right? This is the introduction, though, of this new energy that's really potent and really powerful. So as she was saying, new moons, of course, are planting seeds. It's all brand new. But the way I describe it, when you have a solar eclipse and you have a still point, it is really like a very powerful vortex of energy, moment of energy. So that's why our intentions personally and collectively through this experience are very, very important. This is why, you know, and the thing is, this is not to diss or dishonor other cultures, because different cultures have different ways of looking at eclipses. And for example, I read something that was beautiful. The Native American people, they do not look at eclipses. I don't plan on looking at it. Again, if people feel that that's empowering to them to look at it, there's no really right or wrong way to do it. Shannon and I are advocates for the cosmic and inner experience that this is bringing, right? So, because people have asked me, should I go outside? Should I not go outside? I would say really honor how you want to be today. If you feel like you want to stay in and meditate, we are going to meditate. All the little angry faces going by there. Really? Have some champagne.
Is there
This is
maybe they accidentally hit the wrong one.
Well, I mean, I know that people, these energies have been challenging for people, you know, emotionally and physically. And I totally get that. We get that. A lot's been coming out in the dream time. I was telling Shannon, I was delighted that I saw my fairy godmother, who actually was my godmother on this plane, and she's been passed for, gosh, probably 15 years, and I hadn't seen her in spirit or on the astral for probably a solid decade, and she was in my dreams last night. It was so cool. Yeah,
so
and that
what a blessing.
I know, isn't that neat? That ties into what I got when we were talking earlier about Regulus, and I'll tell you that in a minute. So, Sabian symbol for the sun and moon. This is another thing. People correct me about this all the time. It's at 28. It's actually at 2846 or 53, depending on which ephemeris you're looking at. So when you're past 30, you round it up to the next Sabian symbol, because, right, we're that much closer to the next degree. The Sabian symbol, I know this one is so cool and powerful that I know people that don't even ever look these up. We're looking this one up. Just because it's amazing. And it is a mermaid emerges
in human form. Emerges from the sea to evolve into human form is the long thing. So this is another thing that I feel my take on it is a little bit different than some of the other astrologers, because of course we need to talk about Leo, the royal aspects of Leo, sovereignty, empowerment, and as Shannon pointed out in a beautiful blog that she wrote, or a live that she did actually yesterday, about the heart, about centering in the heart. That's what Leo's all about. Being lion-hearted, being regal, being in our royal selves, right? But we still have a water trine going on between Venus, Neptune, and Chiron. Wow. Okay, and that's right. We have Venus now in Cancer, which of course rules the feminine, rules what we value, rules our relationship function, all of that. So there's a lot of watery, there's a lot of emotional support and healing right now. So that's why I wrote something at Cosmic, I think it was last week, and people were like, I don't get it. So people didn't get it. And I think sometimes water will put out the fire, right? Or it will create steam. But in this case, I saw it, and it makes sense when you look at the whole chart of this eclipse, that the water is actually traveling side by side. It's supporting the creative dynamic aspect of fire, which is yang. So what does that mean? We have perfect balance of yin and yang energy right there. Right? So how beautifully creative is that? It's not lopsided. It's not too feminine. It's not too masculine. It's both. So considering we both, possess both of those energies, I see that as also a golden opportunity. And also it's another thing too, that when the emotional processing or letting go has been heavy, I get it. I know it has been. When that, Chiron and all that, it's no joke. But at the same time, this is healing that's, it's not putting a Band-Aid on it. It's the way I've described the work that I do. It is rooting it out to be done. We're not just glossing it over. This is, or what do they call it? This is, trying to think if I can remember what that is. Pattern breaker. This is pattern breaker. Yes. And this is when, and so pattern breakers, let's be honest, they can just suck. They can be really painful. They can be really scary and confusing. And another thing I've seen here in some of the groups that I'm part of, got a shout out to Kayla McGuire and also Shanna's group in Lunar Ladies. There's been a lot of really beautiful support for other people, like people showing up and going, hey, I'm really out of it today, or I had this disturbing dream, or whatever it is. I've really seen the brothers and sisters coming together in the last 2 weeks. I really need to honor that and shout out to that, because that's a little bit of the energy that's transforming the planet, that's going to transform all of this weird stuff that we're going through right now. And it's also very much part of the revolutionary energy. And I posted Let Love Rule by Lenny earlier this morning. That was my song, because I love that part. He's like, we got to have a love revolution. And we do. That's really what it is. That this is a call and an invitation to a love revolution that is all inclusive, that for everybody, right? And so everyone's going, well, like, why is this pushback, and there's all this weird contrast. Shannon described it, I remember you described it as a dragon, as an injured dragon. Yeah. And it's, I have this image of this dragon with an arrow, right? And it's just in pain, and it's unhappy, and it's, as she was saying, its tail's thrashing around, and just going, and it's knocking down some buildings, it's knocking down some people, and this isn't to minimize the destruction that's happened. And of course, we hold solid space for any beings that have been lost throughout this whole process, and we do this on a daily basis. But it's important to remember that there is a higher picture, a higher purpose here at hand, and not to get all sucked into the stuff. And my other buddy, the Sky Priestess, who I posted her video, shed a lot of good points. But the one that I really loved is she said to not get sucked up into the drama. Yes. Leo, drama, of course, is all about drama, right? Some of the greatest actors that have ever been are Leos. Mick Jagger's got a bunch of planets in Leo. One of the greatest frontmen that ever lived, moves like Jagger, right? So this is all about being on stage and being dramatic. So it's the challenge is when these really, weird or dramatic, distracting things come up, to get, you know, to be mindful of our energy and go, okay, we're gonna honor that for a moment. We're gonna say prayers. We're gonna send energy, you know, in response to that, but not get all sucked up into the whatever nonsense is going on around that. Okay. And I know that that's challenging too, and especially for empaths. So I totally hear you and feel you, fellow empaths. I'm right there with you. It really makes me happy to see some people that have been busting out of their shell. And I know it's not easy to ask for help or even to connect with other people that are very shy. And so I've been seeing people that, and it's great. They even acknowledge it. They're like, this is hard for me to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. And you know what?
Right.
That's leonine courage. That's bravery and courage. And that's stepping out of, yay, kudos to you. And I know that that's hard too. Yeah. So there's been a lot of really beautiful, amazing, like acts of bravery that I've seen, you know, and that's what they are. And to somebody that's an extrovert, that, you know, that's not a big deal to them, but to somebody that's an introvert, it is. It's tough and it's scary. So I want to acknowledge that. Okay. So what is this moment for us? This is an evolutionary moment of the highest order, right? This is very, very powerful. And the interesting thing to note about this eclipse is it is not, a lot of times or sometimes they've been connected to the south node. The south node in the collective has to do with the past. The north node has to do with where we're going and the future. This eclipse and new moon is delightfully connected to the north node. Okay. So this is about vision, future, where we're going. And another interesting thing about the north node is when it's in your own chart, it's the unfamiliar, because, you know, south node's been there, done that, you know. And mine's a Sagittarius, so it's like I get what it's like to be a gypsy and be a wild woman and all of that. That came easy to me, especially when I was younger. Using this as an example, and I think it's a good one. So the North Node is collectively we're going towards a place of bravery and of the divine feminine, because Shannon, she looked it up, found a great article. Regulus, the royal star, which is in the constellation of Leo, which plays very strongly into this eclipse, is now in Virgo. Virgo is a feminine yin sign. It has to do with service and, you know, and healing, service, all of that good stuff. It's very grounded. It's very practical. It's very like feed the baby, walk the dog, pay the bills. It's a very chop wood, carry water energy. Okay. Yeah. So I think it's really interesting that we have this royalness, this royal star in this very practical place. And I think that's where we are now. I think that's what we're doing. You know, when you're building a new reality, you still have to pay the bills and walk the dog and do your life. You still have to do your life. I'm not an expert by any means on Vedic astrology. I find it fascinating. But what I did find out is that this eclipse is in in Magha, and Magha is the heart. It is the heart, and it's also related to the throne of kings. And this is the only thing I'll say politically. That this is all I'm going to say about it. But this is kind of all I need to say about it. That there is a lot of light shining, and as you know, the eclipse chart for Washington D.C. is in the event. One of my wonderful friends here, thank you, Michelle, I think it was, for running that. That's if you want to look at that, but there's a huge amount of light shining on the White House right now, shining in the Washington D.C., that area, and basically this is denoting a shift in leadership. You know, it's hard to say exactly how this is going to play out, but we do know that it has, even if nothing happens on that level, we're talking about a shift with humanity taking their power back, their sovereignty back, right? And also handing over the torch, Regulus and Virgo. This is handing over the torch to women. Oh, yay.
Yay!
Oh, yay. And how are we seeing this every day in the world, every day in the online world? All of the sisters, I bow to you. And I also bow to all the beautiful, conscious men that are supporting women in their missions, including us. You know, it's really important that we have that support so we can do our mission in the world. So that's beautiful. I love that. And so Shannon has some information. When we started looking further into this, we're looking at the saving symbols. Shannon has some information. How are we doing on time? What time is it, Shannon?
11:03.
Okay, we're good. Okay, just checking.
Thank you.
Could you tell us what you saw with the part of fortune and Jupiter? So I'm gonna hand that.
Okay, because like Irma said, that the solar eclipse and the new moon and Regulus is part of this fire trine of a grand fire trine, which is a spiritual harmonic, like, you know, tidal wave of love and divinity and sovereignty. But there's a Jupiter is creating an opposition to part of the triangle, part of the grand trine, and turns this into a kite, right? A kite flies high. And so in astrology, you look at where the tail of the kite is, because that's like the guiding force. That's like how you actually grab onto it and use it in your personal life. So it's like being able to hold the lightning and then redirect it and how you want it for according to your personal sovereignty. So the tail is Jupiter with part of fortune in Libra. So Jupiter is our planet of expansion, you know, like Irma said, you know, rules Sagittarius, so it goes on and on and on. It's benevolent, it's happy-go-lucky. We love Jupiter, you know, gold coins falling from the sky. It's great, right? When we're on our spiritual path and looking for truth. And so Libra is about our relationships. And most of all, our relationship to ourselves. Like we can't have a harmonic relationship with another person if we're not in our authentic space. So Libra says, go back, discover who you are, and then come back into relationship. So it's not like blaming each other. You're more like seeing each other, and you're bringing your gifts. And you're like, how can I love you more? How can I be of service to you more? Because I know who I am, and I'm full, right? I'm overflowing now, right? So there's no argument, tit for tat. That's old. That's past. So when Jupiter's now in alignment, so Jupiter's blowing all that up, making it huge and bigger. So coming in with part of fortune, that's our path of happiness and our path of joy. And when we follow it, we're doing our dharma, our sacred work on the planet, and then we have abundance as a result because we're in our path of happiness. So in order for the path of happiness to shine brightly, its opposition has to be in balance, has to be in harmony, and it's Uranus and Aries. Right? So I was like, oh my God, here's Aries again. Uranus, who are you? Like as a spiritual revolutionary of the revolution of love? Like, what are you doing in the revolution? Like, you better figure it out. And how you figure it out is just go right here. Go out of fight or flight brain, up into your third eye and your bigger consciousness of who you are, and then waterfall down into the heart chakra, and then show up and say, hi everybody, I'm so-and-so.
That is beautiful. Yay!
Yay! Yeah, so that's like
really good. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just right before we got on to do our live. My mom was watching like the groups in Oregon, and you know they're live streaming the solar eclipse, and it was so cute to see like hordes of people, like groups of people out there cheering and clapping at the darkness, and it's just like, look at those, everybody's out there in mass together, creating a party scene, enjoying the, you know, they have a single point of focus on the solar eclipse, and they're all enjoying it at the same time. Like that's what we're moving, taking that energy and we're putting it into as our here and now.
How beautiful.
Like,
right? That is gorgeous. Does it get any better? Because Satchidananda, right. You are that. Our nature is joy, right?
Yes.
All of the great teachers are telling us that, and the keepers, that's the message that's been coming through for years and years, is you are that. Satchidananda, infinite consciousness, infinite awareness, and infinite bliss. That's who you are. And we have all of this junk stuff of life. It's challenging, and again, no blame, because it's, you know, they told me, this is another thing, speaking of that, I've been having a lot of powwows with them in eclipse season, more than usual, and they keep the keepers, as in my guidance team, they keep talking about how much courage it takes to be human, and bravery. And this is why we have spiritual support, why we have the support that we do, because spirit acknowledges that this is rough. To be in 3D, it can be incredibly challenging. And to think about it, you got to keep your health together, you got to keep your life together. There's so many balls in the air that we're doing all the time as human beings, you know? So that's such a great point of people gathering together in celebration, which is very Leo, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Party.
in joy, in happiness. And if it takes an eclipse, to, you know, it takes some astronomical event to do it, well, so be it, you know? That's cool, right?
Kind of makes
So,
sense since we're stardust and, you know, light and stardust.
it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. The one thing I wanted to share when you were sharing about the tail of the kite, that's very useful information. Thank you very much.
Oh,
For me personally and for everybody
right.
that might have a kite pattern in their chart. The other thing I was thinking though is Shannon knows, and a few other people know. That's why I have a picture of troll spray on my page this week. Just a picture of troll spray. Just kind of leaving it there. But actually, that's old paradigm, because we're not taking that into the new gateway. But that was kind of the tail end of all of that. But when, you know how you said the thing about, it's not about nitpicking and, you know, finding what's wrong with the other person. It's about, I'm going to show up and bring what I have. And that's
Bring
interesting, because Mercury retrograde in Virgo is very nitpicky. It's very like, you're not doing that right. You're not manifesting the way you know, it's really, the shadow of it has been really challenging. And I know I'm not the only one that's been on the receiving end of that. I've been hearing that for like work situation, you know, it's just been going around. So I think that I love that. I think that we talk about medicine, and in the medicine that we bring, that knowledge is so useful just to me personally, but also, like I said, because people are dealing with that, you know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, conscious people, anyway, I'll read the comments later. Comments. I'll go back. That's another thing, guys. I'm going to come back and I'll look at all of these, because I just kind of let it rip and get on a roll. And also, we decided you didn't want to keep everybody here online today, because we got to, you know, do a meditation and get out there. So
it's 11:10.
Okay, let's take a moment. I just noticed that too. So let's take a moment of just a moment here, and take some deep breaths and just center ourselves. There's so much energy, so let's just do that. We're going to do our 3-breath pattern. First breath is relaxing the physical body. The second breath is relaxing the mind. And the third breath is inviting our higher self to step in an even more tangible way. So I believe we are at 11:11 Pacific time. So we are going to have a moment of silence and meditation now, that we're going to join in with everyone on the planet, sending our love, light, and peace to all sentient beings. Woo! Feeling that. And we dedicate this to the benefit of all sentient beings everywhere, and so it is. Amen. Beautiful. Thank you. I really felt that.
I did too. I was like, whoa.
That's another thing I was going to say at the end. When we go, we're not live anymore. Shannon and I are going to be in meditation for 15 minutes. We invite anybody who would like to join us. I was told that, 15 minutes in these energies is like 45 minutes, or, it's in regular type energy. This is very supercharged right now, so we can get a lot done, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, whoa. I love all the people that are here today. I've got my
Yes,
phone tilted and I'm seeing everybody, and thank you so much. This just really shows just this little small microcosm of people we have here. That was so powerful, wasn't it? That was amazing. So
Yeah.
keep in mind, this is going on across the entire world right now. This kind of energy is being generated and sent out to all sentient beings today. So yes, there's people that are going to be like drinking it up and looking at, you know, and having a very different experience, and, you know, being bummed that they got the wrong eclipse glasses or whatever. And that's fine. That's fine. You know, everybody's relating to this in their own way. But this is a reminder that you are stepping in a really, really powerful gateway. And this is for our use and for our benefit. And, you know, keep in mind too, this is another thing that came through, this is another thing, I think, even though I said it, not everybody saw all my posts this last week. So one of the things, it came through me, and then another writer, author got it, and we got kind of the same thing. And it was the thing about when really good stuff is happening, that there was this guilt that was coming up. I think it's important to talk about that again. I'm getting the little ding, talk about that. You really can still, this is important to get, you really can hold space and be concerned for other human beings and still being open to your own bounty and your own abundance and your own good. And as a matter of fact, you're far more use to the collective when you're in all of your goodness, all of your abundance. And that's one of my intentions. I'm going to state it here again today, that I've been very blessed that I've been able to support other human beings emotionally, and on a physical level through healing. I'm now at a level where I'm stepping it up to support people financially, and charities and organizations. I'm stepping it up to support these people doing work in the world that need, you know, let's face it, we need some skrilla, we need some dough if we want to, you know, to get this stuff done. And it's true, you know, people are always saying, well, you're just suggesting that we just sit here and meditate. No, I've never suggested that. And neither does the Dalai Lama. I know, right? It's so funny. I know. People don't get it. They must be new to my work. Anyway, it's all about compassion is love in action. Yes, we sit here. Yes, we meditate. We sit on our cushion. We face our demons. We do all of that stuff. But we are obviously here to be in service. Now we've got Regulus, the royal star in the sign of service. It is gorgeous. That is like so beautiful. And another interesting thing about Regulus being in Virgo, people of our generation, age group that have that Virgo stellium, let's think about that for a moment, shall we?
It's our time.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. That means that there's all of this beautiful, it's interesting because it's Leonine energy, right? Because it's Regulus. And it's in the constellation of Leo. So it is all about, you know, all of those kingly, queenly things. But now it's interesting because it's a balance of being, because Virgo, when you think of Virgo, you think of humility, right? You think of someone just kind of quietly, and we all know these wonderful Sun and Virgo people are some of my favorite people in the world. And they're out there helping and serving and in ways that maybe people don't even really notice, but you know, I'm noticing it, and people in their world are noticing it. You know what I mean? Because again, it's all these little small things that add up, right? I think it was, you know, what was a Mother Teresa? Small things done with great love. Dalai Lama, love in, you know, compassion is love in action. So that's what this is about. We are going to take it on the road. And just to clarify, you know, I've never advocated sitting on our butts and not doing anything. I don't know where people get that. I'm a Capricorn. It doesn't make any sense.
That'd be impossible for you.
You know, it's like, really? But on the other hand, we've talked, this is an important thing too, is we spoke a little bit about our roles. Our roles are important. Not everybody is out there beating the bushes. Not everybody's out there protesting or whatever you feel called to do, even if it is right, supporting people financially, you know, just doing whatever, you know, doing your meditation, sending out healing energy to the world. I know there's so many people here on this feed right now that are doing that in their daily practice. So namaste. That's important.
Yes.
And we see you. Thank you. We see you and we honor you. So another thing I got too is that when we go through a new moon, as Shannon was saying, we're talking about, it's our seeds. It's like, what seeds are we planting for the next cycle? So not only is it the next moon cycle, we're talking the next eclipse cycle, as Shannon pointed out so wisely before. So our intentions with this new moon are very important, that we get very clear and very articulate on what they are, and use articulate language in your, what I call your new moon wish list, okay? You don't want to be vague. You want to go universe. This is exactly what I'm, requesting. So, but what I did get that on a bigger level that's going to affect light workers and empaths, that means pretty much everybody here today, in some way, that these are the three things that we're taking through this gateway that's going to make our life better. First one, we're going to vibe so high that negativity can no longer reach us.
Yay!
It's not about shielding from it. It's like they just can't, you just aren't seen there anymore, right?
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. No resistance, just not available. Sorry, you're going to get my voicemail, not available. Right?
Yes.
You're getting the cosmic voicemail when you try to get through, because we're just not, home girls and home boys are not playing that anymore. We're not in the house anymore. Okay, that's the first one. Second one, we are open to effortless abundance coming our way, whether that be actual money, whether it be connections, beautiful organic connections. Shannon and I are a really good example of a
yes,
kind,
exactly.
organic connection of you meet another human being, you're like, wow, you're from the Champagne
I know
planet.
you.
I know
You're funny.
How you been? Nice to see you again. So that's a good example of that, is making these connections that are so effortless. We're so adorable. Oh, thank you. You are too. She makes me more funny. So it's a good thing, because she brings out, I think I'm funnier with Shannon. We'll be talking and she'll just be like, falling out of her chair, and I'll be like, what did I say?
Oh,
So
Irma, I'm like, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. It's so funny.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I made my mama laugh a lot, and I'm thinking of her today, because she went on the other side of the veil a few months ago, and love you, mama. Okay, so the third thing is, this is also very important for especially empaths, the freedom from taking on collective energy, especially on a physical level. This has been the crux of my teaching from day one. Interestingly, there was a couple of people here last week that really didn't understand this, that really didn't understand what I was saying. And I'm not saying that you become aloof. That's not what we're saying. And detachment in a more Buddhist type of a term is a little different than what Webster's dictionary says about it.
Yeah.
She knows the backstory, so that's why she's laughing. But anyway, Ann Perry and Patty Moldereg will be laughing over this too, because they know the backstory on that too. But yes, there's subtleties in language, right? There's subtleties with it. Basically, a lot of laughs going across the screen about that. Yes. So you can be, again, being in the world and not being of it, right? There's a scripture that mentions that. The keepers mention that a lot. Okay, is it tricky? Yes. Can we do it? Yes, we can. And you can't do it every day. There's some days that, we all have our days and we slip up and we get sucked into the vortex of nonsense. And again, shake it off, come back to center, and you move on, right? We bless everyone, the people that don't get it. But again, this old energy of arguing and being right, and like wonderful giggling Buddha used to say, being right is like a coffee cup with a hole in the bottom. Cheers. Right? I mean, it's ultimately worth that much. So again, I don't even think it's a choose your battles energy per se. You know what I mean? I think there's a part of that going on, but it's also about, why don't we just quit battling with each other? Why don't we give that a whirl?
Yeah, let's try that for a change.
I'm totally into it. Yeah. So back to this freedom from taking on the collective energy. I've been hearing from empaths this last week. Some people have been very ill from these energies. This is like cosmic spin cycle big time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do we have solar flares and eclipse, that in itself is going to affect the physical body in a really big way. You know, we've also had events of Charlottesville. We've had all of this turbulent stuff that's happening. You know, and again, there's been kind of a trepidation as we go through another portal. But I feel like, you know, my feeling is I don't get some sense of doom around this, and you know, I don't pick that up kind of anyway. But I know that the way I described it is I said that malefic energies don't get to tag this one with spray paint. Is how I put it.
Totally, they can't graffiti over it.
You know? They just don't. I mean, it's so pristine, this energy, and so beautiful, and it's so valid and so creative that, you know, people can try to do their nonsense, but you know, we know better. We just saw what we can do when we get together as just a small group that's on here, right? This isn't thousands of people. This is maybe, I don't know, a couple hundred people, right? So we're talking there are thousands of people out there with this same intention. Love, light, blessings, abundance, freedom, you know, bring it. So really, I think it's really important to remember that. And again, I'm seeing a lot of comments here, and I want to, you know, I will go back and honor those. There's just so much, and I appreciate you guys taking the time not only to tune in, but to, you know, just to comment and share. Okay, so I think we're getting ready to wrap it up, but I want to just remind everybody. Okay, a couple of things. Okay. So the other thing I do invite everybody to go back into the event page, and in the discussions area, there's some good stuff in there. I will go and remove any kind of superfluous stuff, like what time, you know, just like comments. I'm going to try to leave it with factual information in the discussions area, right? So then we can, because you posted some stuff, that was great. So what I got too is when you have, this really has to do with our soul mission and our divine will, and also our heart's desire. I had a post a few days ago about my heart's desire, and this message I got from Source, like, I know your heart's desire because I put it there. Like, whoa, that was powerful. Wow. And so the thing is, but it was one of those things. It wasn't like some other entity was telling me that. It was like the higher self, my I am was telling me that. That was really what it was like. So we have the opportunity with these regal, beautiful energies to really step it up. You know, okay, we're royal children of the universe. Well, we need to start acting like it, right? We need to start stop falling for all this nonsense. And not only that, remember the 3 light worker intentions. Vibing so high, the stuff can't reach you. Like, no, it's going to voicemail. Second thing, effortless abundance. It just, you know, we just know that what we need for our path and our purpose is going to manifest. And it might, maybe it's like the connection, maybe we have to connect the dots, like maybe it's not immediately here, but oh, this person showed up and they have a piece of it. Maybe they have the contact for me, however that, you know, plays out, right? That's how that's going to play out. And then also, let me go back to this thing about taking stuff on. I have the centering and grounding meditation. I'm going to repost that. That was an opt-in that I offered a couple weeks ago. And it was a short meditation. I think it was 9 minutes. It ended up being, but people told me they got a lot out of it, and I'm really glad.
Yeah, it was good.
That really helps get us, you know, back. I thank you for sharing that too. It helps get us back to center and kind of let go of whatever isn't there. There is an unconscious agreement with a lot of empaths that we have to process collective energy this way. I invite you to stop that now. That is no, a lot of times people just need permission. That's all you do. You just need permission. I needed permission. The keepers gave me permission. I'm like, okay, good, I'm done. And as for people that know my story, the big tsunami, whenever that was, many years ago now, over 10 years ago, I was so ill that I couldn't get out of bed. Before I even saw the news, it hit me. I was so ill from it. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is not what I'm here to do. I'm not supposed to be debilitated. It's one thing to be sensitive. It's another thing to be, you know, harmed or debilitated by it. That's not what it's for, right? And the other thing I got too is we just didn't have tools. We didn't, you know, like I said, we didn't have a book, so I wrote one. I wrote 2. you know, because I didn't have a manual. No one handed me the empath manual. I didn't know what to do, right? For me, it was a lot of, you know, trial and error and falling flat on my face. And so that's a big part of my work, as you know, is sharing these energetic tips and tools for fellow empaths so you don't have to be debilitated by what's going on. This right now, though, in the world, this is a real kind of Dolores Cannon separation of the world's moment. This is a real this is a real timeline shift moment. And it isn't one of the, I don't buy into this stuff like, oh, if you're still reading the news or into that, you're stuck in that paradigm. It doesn't work like that. It's more complicated than that. But the thing is, you have to think about food, literal food, energetic food, psychic food. What are we putting in? I wrote the empath manual. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah,
you did.
I feel like that. I appreciate that because yeah, I needed one. There wasn't one. So again, back to this. Think about what you're taking in. Is it benefiting you? Is it making you vibe up? Is it lowering your energy? Same thing about people, places, and situations, right? And sometimes we can't, you know, extricate ourselves from everything, especially, you know, if there's family members or maybe it's a boss, a person at work. I mean, there's coping things that we need to use. Tools, use the tools and tips. Very, very important right now. And again, if you fall off the horse, then get back on it. That's okay. No blame. You know, I remember, I think it was Ram Dass used this great analogy that you treat your consciousness like a child. And when it goes to run out in the street, you don't give it, you know, yell at it or reprimand it. You just gently take it and you bring it back, right? That's what we're going to do when we start to lose our way. Isn't that nice? I know that's very Venus and Cancer. Just kind of, oh, I have to remember this. Hashtag cookies and a nap. I was telling Shannon how much I admire her wonderful compassion and how she really helps me because I've got an Aries moon and I can get, you know, irritated AF at at certain people. And she goes, well, you know, Cancers, we just kind of treat people like they're just cranky and they need a cookie and a nap.
You just give them the cookie and then you let them lay down.
Isn't that great? Isn't that the most amazing thing you've ever heard? See, I still just laugh till my eyes water. So, you know, my Cancerians that are out there giving the world a cookie.
Cookie and a nap.
I know you probably made the cookie. You probably made the cookie too, and it's got all this love in it. Did. So yay. How are we on time? Well, this is I'll let everybody go, but when I was getting ready this morning, you know me in the Cosmic Tunes. Yeah. I didn't get the whole tune, but this was the lyric that I got from my brother, Crispian Mills, fellow goat Capricorn of the wonderful band Kula Shaker, which people know I'm a huge fan. I got to see him at a tiny little club, and it was really interesting. I saw him at a tiny little club. It was the same night that debates were going on. Oh, it was beautiful. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. I was like 10 feet away from him. It was so great. So I was like, yeah, that's how I was spending, you know, that energy. I was 10 feet away from Crispian Mills, which is very perfect. But the lyric is, for people that want to look up the song is out on the highway. But this is the lyric. Be good to yourself. Be good to your heart. Be good to yourself and keep love in your heart. Reach out in life. Reach out in death. Let love be your requiem. Namaste.
Aww, that's beautiful.
Thank you so much, everybody, for eclipsing with us on this very special Cosmic Coffee Talk edition.
Right.
Super fun.
Got our blue bottle
when I get
water.
off here, and you got your blue water. We'll look on here and comment. You know, respond to some of these comments. And another thing for people that aren't here live, that I will post the replay. I'm gonna configure it and it'll be on my YouTube channel later. It'll be there tonight, but right now,
wonderful.
Yeah, it'll be available on the YouTube channel. Stargirl8629 is my YouTube channel, But what we're going to do right now, when we finish this, is we're going to go into meditation. Shannon and I will be little anchor points where we are. She's up there in Alameda, California. I'm out here in near Joshua Tree, California. So thank you, everybody, for coming. And what I'll do, like I said, is I will do the meditation for 15 minutes, and then I'll pop back on here and respond to your comments. So namaste, everybody. Happy
Namaste.
New Moon.
Happy New Moon. Plant your wishes and send them out there.
Get the wish list going and enjoy, everybody. We love you. Bye-bye.